What's happening, Blades? It's a warm one. It's a warm one today. I'm a sweaty mess. So apologies if that comes through on camera. But yeah, can't complain when weather's so nice, can we? So I said I won't be uploading unless there's any news. It feels like ages. I was desperate to jump on and sort of keep the rambles going and stuff. But as I've said to you, I won't be producing content if there's nothing to talk about. We're certainly not going to be one of those channels that just throws stuff out for the sake of it. So hopefully you get a bit of value from this one and you have done front rest. So first thing to say is massive thank you to SUFC Moments. They've sent me some merch through, which I'm more than happy to plug because I think it's top-notch stuff. Beer mats with the main man, Georgie Baldock. Not only that, but if you haven't seen these prints with iconic Sheffield United moments, look at this. Illiman scoring against Tottenham, absolutely amazing. Tommy Doyle, that FA Cup goal. So thank you so much to SUFC Moments. It's never boring being a Blade, as it says on one of the stickers that they've sent through. Get on their website, absolutely fantastic stuff, and thank you again for sending me that stuff through. sufcmoments.co.uk, absolutely spot on. Thank you, pal, really appreciate it. This episode is sponsored by Man That's Tough, and this is the launch of the men's mental health channel that I were threatening to do last video. We've now recorded our first episode, me and my boy Jules. Can't believe the overwhelming positive feedback. Thank you so much to those of you that have watched it. If it's something you're interested in, then please go across and give it a look. If you do like it and you want a bit more content, which we are working on, please do subscribe. As I say, but we're overwhelmed with feedback, and thank you so much for that. It's very much appreciated. So, Man That's Tough, focusing on predominantly men's, but everybody's mental health and mental well-being. So they are the sponsors of this video. If anybody else wants to come on board as a sponsor, by the way, feel free. bladesramble@gmail.com.
All I can say is show me the money!
So, what's been happening? Time for a couple of Ramble Rumours, I think. So we've still not had our retained list through, and a lot of people are questioning why, and it should have been in this Saturday, just gone, third Saturday in May, that's the rules. It's been submitted, our retained list, it's in. Don't worry about that. The hold-up doesn't surprise me, and potentially this hold-up is about negotiating with some players that we've got options on, like McBurney and Norwood, where we could extend them, and Wes, but are we looking to renegotiate the terms instead? So maybe a longer contract, or slight increase in money, or whatever it might be. We don't have to publish the retained list. I think it gets published formally by the governing body in like mid-June. So it's on the club really as to when they want to publish that. It'd be nice, because I think the one thing we have complained about previously in the past, and I think it's justified, is the lack of communication from the club to the fans. There were really poor communication around embargoes, and there's been nothing about potential takeover. And I understand that they're not done deals, but surely the club can sense the tone and needs to understand the concerns of the fans, because I don't think it's considered enough. And hopefully the new owner will put a little bit more of a focus on this and sort of keeping the supporters informed as to what's going on. We don't expect to be told who we're negotiating with. We don't expect to be told this is a transfer target for us. We're not asking for anything that's derogatory to the club. Don't treat us as mugs is all we're saying, really. If we're subject to a takeover bid, let's not have fans scrambling around online to see what's the latest with Dozy or what's this American consortium all about. Communicate with us. You don't have to say who you're in touch with, just the club's been subject to a takeover bid or whatever it might be, or we're now going through some due diligence, or when we're in a transfer embargo, it's due to missed payments on two players or whatever it might be. We're now in negotiations with the clubs and expect to resolve it in due course. I think it's minimum that should be expected for a club our size, and that's definitely something that we can work on. But I digress. The retained list is a big talking point because obviously last week, my last video actually was speculating that Billy, Ender and Fleck were 3 definites on the release list. Recent murmurings are that following the meeting in Geneva with Hecky and the board and Prince Abdullah, Billy may stay, or is certainly still in negotiations about staying. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I talked last time about, yes, it's difficult this in the short term to say goodbye to an absolute icon of the football club, but it's the right move on the pitch. Hecky's counter argument to that is, I already need 5 or 6 new faces. Why would releasing another 5, 6, 7 help when we've then got to recruit 10, 11? And I understand that theory, but it screams a sentiment to me. There's no point holding on to a core of players if you don't think they're good enough for the level. They shouldn't be judged on the fact that they're a body. They should be judged on their ability. For me, Jebison and Willisula are almost at Billy Sharp's current level. And I don't mean they're as good as Billy Sharp has been for us. But what I mean is, if there's a pecking order in strikers, Billy's dropping down. He was 3, now he's probably number 4. Come mid-season, he'd probably be number 5. And that's on our current squad without us strengthening anybody. For me, I think it's time that he went. And I love Billy Sharp, but I think that's the right decision for the club. So we'll see. And we talked about it a little bit in squad rebuild. There's plenty of quality out there for next to nothing. If you look at some of the release lists that have been doing the rounds, the one that jumps out at me is we need an improvement at left wing back. And I know people have their own opinions on this, and Max Lowe's numbers are good and all that sort of stuff. Max Lowe's recovery rate, for me, is specifically down to the fact that he loses the ball high up the pitch and then quickly regains it. I don't think it's the fact that he's an outstanding defender that recovers the ball so many times. It's making up for mistakes that he's made. I'm not fooled by Max Lowe's stats. I don't buy it, if I'm honest. And you can't... my opinion is no better than anybody else's. But as someone who was employed to be a scout, there's an old saying that the data will only tell you so much. It's the old eye test that does it. That'll nail it for you as to whether they're capable or not. And Max Lowe is not a Premier League player. The example I'm using Max Lowe for is, we've obviously got Reece Norrington-Davies to come back. I would like to see Reece at left centre-half. Ryan Manning is there on a free. He's being linked to championship clubs. He was Swansea's player of the season. 5 goals, 10 assists from left back, who bombs down the wing. If we can't get Ryan Giles, who will cost money, Ryan Manning is there. And I get the sentiment that free transfers are not really free transfers because there's a signing on fee and that'll come into the competitive nature of it. But even if you give him £1 million to sign on, we'd have signed him for a lot more than £1 million if we were buying him from Swansea. And he's an upgrade immediately to the squad. Brings the age down. I think he's 26. So that's Ender out, Manning in. It's an absolute no-brainer for me. So I don't get the whole we must stick with the numbers that we have and release as few as possible, because I know what he's saying, and we've got a good thing with our core squad, but we're another year older now. Billy's 37. He'll be 38 by the time Premier League season finishes. And we've seen this year, he's not been up to the rigours of the Championship. So it's a bit of a reality check, really. 2 transfer rumours to jump into now. And I don't hold much water in particularly one of them. The first one I don't think is going to happen is James Trafford. Man City goalkeeper, been on loan for the season at Bolton. Done really well, apparently. One of the best keepers in league. Great. Don't mind us being linked with a goalkeeper that'll level us up, or at least be strong competition for Wes. Well, they're talking about a loan because they don't want to get rid of him. Well, we are the one club that will not waste a Man City loan if we're getting one. And to me, that's a waste. Unless he's coming in to be the number one, and we've absolutely no chance of getting James McAtee on loan or permanent, and we're definitely buying Tommy Doyle, then we're not wasting a loan from Man City. So it's either a really good thing that we'll get this lad on loan because it'll mean we're buying Tommy Doyle, or it's a waste. And that's why I'm surprised by it, and I don't think it'll happen. The second one is Ryan Kent. Now, he's been linked away from Rangers for years, but he's actually told him he's running his contract down, and I think he might have even gone already. So he's a free agent. Predominantly a right winger, but can play all across the front. There's an argument that I've seen online that we don't play with wingers. We know that. We're closest in our current formation to playing with wingers as we ever have been because of Ecky's tweaks. This season, we've had Illiman and James McAtee both playing in the same team, both playing a similar role with one central striker that they're supporting. So 2 10s, if you like, but split wide of each other. So while they're not strictly wingers, they're closer to wingers than we've ever had as a 10. And the fact that Ryan Kent can play right or left, and he has played through the middle before as a 10, I think he does suit us. We've seen before as well. I mean, Duffy's the prime example of a out-and-out right winger that we turned into a number 10, and he's probably one of the best number 10s that's ever played for United. So I think there's potentially some merit in this one, but there'll be a lot of competition for Ryan Kent. He's been linked with Leeds for years. Marcelo Bielsa were after him for about 2 or 3 seasons straight. Never got it done. But obviously, there'll be a lot of competition for these free agents because nobody's got any money. I mean, the only advantage we've got in that market is we're probably going to be the only skint Premier League club. So we're offering him Premier League football as opposed to Championship teams that'll be in for him as well. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. What do you think to Ryan Kent? Are you happy with that? James Trafford, goalkeeper. I think it's fair to acknowledge that we need strengthening in goalkeeper department. Even if it's competition for Wes. I've seen a lot of people saying he should have a go. I think personally we should be upgrading on Wes. I think it's an area we should be focusing on. Huge thanks again to SUFC Moments for their fantastic merch that they've sent through. I mean, it's probably more fun to guess what brand they're representing. So Jaden Bogle, is that Jack Daniels? Well, I've no idea, to be fair. McAtee, Boddingtons. Who else have we got? John Egan from Gark, Guinness. Brilliant. So thanks again. Check them out, sufcmoments.co.uk. I'm also going to link the first episode of Man That's Tough, who are sponsoring the channel today. Thanks to me for sponsoring my own video. You know, you got to help yourself out, haven't you? And thank you again to our members. We're up again in numbers of members who are getting this exclusive and early. Thank you for your support. It's very much appreciated. We recently had a members only exclusive video that talked about some potential upgrades of the channel and what they would like to see and what they think we can do to improve. So thanks again for your feedback on that. And yeah, let me know what you think. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. Tell your friends all about it. We are rapidly marching towards 1,500 subscribers now. Can we get 2,000 before it starts next season? That is, PNUK challenged me to have a target. That is my target, 2K. Share it with your friend. I'm challenging you all to share this channel now with somebody that doesn't know it exists. I'm not going to sort of pin them down and say they must subscribe, but it's on them. If they like what they see, then if they can subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. So yeah, that's the next challenge. We've got to get to 2K by the start of next season. Got some good stuff coming up over at close season. If you've any ideas on what you'd like to see, again, get it in comments down below. Thanks again, everybody, for your support. It's very much appreciated. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blades! Ramble on!